What is going on, fantasy football addicts? We are back. We did it. We somehow ended up back on this channel because you're watching this. And we decided to take a month off, the month of August, right before football, for fantasy football content, because that's how confident we are in our abilities to take you to a fantasy football championship. We kind of know what we're talking about, so I'll go ahead and sit back, strap up. We actually have some stuff going on in our lives personally that have made, this not the priority, but it's still something we enjoy doing, and we are going to pump out content for y'all all season long. We just had to take a little break. We're back. We're here. It's me and Mick, and today we're going to be doing Smash or Pass, episode 4, and we got some good names on this list. We're, excited to be back. We're going to go ahead and let Mick just give a little rundown, who's going first, all that. We're here, Smash or Pass, fantasy football addicts. We are back, baby. Sit back, relax, win yourself a championship, and don't forget to draft Clyde. Let's go.
Smash or pass, basically, we're just picking somebody and we're saying if we would smash or pass them on the ADP. So first on our list is going to be Juju SmithSchuster. His ADP is 30 overall, wide receiver 10. And for me, I am going to smash Juju SmithSchuster. I think he's in line for a big bounce back season this year. Big Ben is back. He's going to be the biggest knock on him, or what everybody was scared of was after watching last season was, it's because AB isn't there to draw all the attention away. He had a really good year before because AB was drawing so much attention, but I don't think that's the case. I think, and if that is your argument too, they have Deontay Johnson, who's supposed to be taking a big step forward this year. They just drafted Chase Claypool, who I think is going to be a really good receiver this year. But I think that Juju's he's going to pop off with Big Ben being back. He was also banged up with some injuries last year himself, and I think wide receiver 10. I think that's fair for him. I think it could even go up. I think if he was wide receiver 7, I'd probably hesitant there, but I still would probably do it. I think he's a smash for the season.
Yeah, no doubt smashing Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, the dude's an absolute stud. He was, pretty good while AB was there, and then AB left, and everything fell apart. Like Mick said, you lost quarterback, you lost weapons, you lost everything. He had the chip on his shoulder. People saying he can't do it without AB. No, the dude's an elite receiver. He's got some actual targets next to him this year that will draw some attention away. He's got his Hall of Fame quarterback back. The dude is going to be an absolute animal. Don't overthink it. Smash Juju. He is an elite talent. He's a great NFL wide receiver. He's going to just do a lot of things for your fantasy team this year. He's a good, solid piece for where he's going. Absolutely smashing Juju.
Okay, so I definitely agree with you. I think that he's going to be a huge smash. Duck Hodges is not going to be throwing him the football anymore, and that dude was straight garbage.
Terrible.
So next on our list is going to be Nick Chubb, 9th overall, and RB7, and I'm going to pass on him simply because Kareem Hunt is there. I think Kareem Hunt is a really good talent. If you told me that he's going to pass Nick Chubb, he's going to outscore Nick Chubb this year, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be stunned at all. I think that's definitely in the realm of outcomes for the Browns this season. I think Nick Chubb at 7 is too high for me. I know he's a pure runner, but it's just too high for my likings. If he was in the second round, mid to late second round, yes, I'm taking Nick Chubb, but where he's at right now, no, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely no way. Fading Nick Chubb, passing him all the way. When you're taking running back 7 off the board, you're wanting a guy that's getting you 15 to 20 points every single week consistently. That's what you need, and Nick Chubb is not going to do that. And the argument's always, the best pure runner in the NFL, like Kareem Hunt isn't the guy there, No, there's no room on a roster as far as we've seen for I don't know how long. Like maybe it happens and the stars align and he ends up a top 7 guy, whatever. I highly doubt it. You've got Kareem Hunt there, who me and Mick also thought going into this acquisition that Kareem Hunt was going to end up the guy in Philly next year or somewhere. He was going to move on. Nick Chubb's still the guy. They'll use him a little bit, and it'll be kind of a mutually beneficial thing. But that doesn't have a lot of impact on Chubb for a year, and then we would move on. Chubb would continue his dominance. Absolutely not. Nick Chubb is not a top 7 running back this year. Absolutely no way. PPR-wise, throw him out the window. Kareem Hunt's catching all those passes there. And then not only that, Kareem Hunt's going to get running back work as far as carries go. So you're not going to be able to produce two elite running backs. They've already said they're going to use both of them a ton. It's not going to happen. Yes, they'll both be solid. I think the fact that Mick said, and I agree with 100%, and nobody would be surprised if Kareem Hunt outscored Nick Chubb this year. That's not good, because you want to know why? You can get Kareem Hunt like 10 rounds later, like not 10 rounds, but pretty close to it. So, I mean,
way farther back.
Yeah, way farther back. Get Kareem Hunt for the value, much better. Don't like Nick Chubb at all at 7. Move on. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So next on our list is Aaron Jones, and he is 16th overall and running back 11. And I'm going to smash Aaron Jones, and it's not because I got a Green Bay thing right there, nothing like that, but it's because I think that the Green Bay Packers have shown that they do not care about Aaron Rodgers, and they are going to use what they got for him to throw the football to. It's Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is wide receiver 2 in that offense. He's also RB1 in that offense. So I'm going to take the guy who can play outside. He can play outside. He can play inside the slot. He's going to this year because they just simply don't have another option unless they make a trade at the trade deadline or sign somebody else. But I think Aaron Jones will be the number 2 receiver this year. He's proven he can do it, because last year when Devontae Adams was down for the 4.5 games or so, Aaron Jones stepped up huge. He also led the league in touchdowns last year. He had 19 touchdowns, which was the league high. And he cracked 1,000 yards rushing for the first time in his career last year. Matt LaFleur has talked about how he wants to turn this into a run-first offense, and how last year they ran a lot last year. This year he wants to run even more than they did last year, and I think Aaron Jones is a smash at RB11.
Yeah, so just for a quick preview, there are going to be several, like double-digit top-tier NFL running backs that are free agents after this coming season. Aaron Jones is going to be very near the top of that list. I think people are sleeping on Aaron Jones. He's an absolute freak talent, and he is right now, honestly, the guy in Green Bay. Like, Adams is relying on what Rodgers can do, and obviously they're going to be great. But he is elite inside the 5-yard line. He's the best running back in the NFL inside the 5-yard line. And I think people are hesitant because A.J. Dillon is there, and A.J. Dillon is not going to come in and make an impact on Aaron Jones. There's absolutely no way it's happening. Why would you even question it? I mean, he is in such a prime spot. He's got the rushing down. We know the passing game is coming. He is wide receiver 2 for one of the best quarterbacks in the league, despite what people are saying about Aaron Rodgers. He's still a great quarterback. And I don't get it. I think this is a tricky situation where there's a lot of outcomes, and I think people, for the most part, want to take a very safe approach or fade him altogether, like I said to do with Nick Chubb. Don't take Nick Chubb. Aaron Jones, the exact opposite. He has, just all of the room in the world. Like, they're not going to be blown out of games. That's not going to happen. So you don't have to worry about him not getting the rushing. And don't worry, because if they're in close games, he's going to be running a lot. He's going to be getting a lot of touchdowns. Like, Adams is the only other option there as far as Rodgers is concerned. So love Aaron Jones. Draft him all day. Smash.
Yeah, I think the only thing that A.J. Dillon takes away from Aaron Jones this season is he's going to be the one who's running the football in garbage time. And
absolutely,
I think that's what it is. That's only going to turn out to be like 5-6 carries a game, and it's at the end of the game where they're not trying to do anything fancy or nothing like that. I'm not really worried about it.
It will not be a lot. Yeah, those carries are going to be the I don't know. We're up by a touchdown with a minute left, and we got the ball. Like, hand A.J. Dillon, he'll run for 3 yards because he's absolutely terrible. But yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. The Green Bay Packers won the most one-score games last year than anyone else. I mean, that's how they went 13-3. I believe it was 13-3. So they are in close games. Aaron Jones is going to get a ton of work because the Packers want to win. They're going to stay in those close games, and they're going to absolutely hammer him. They're not going to take away from what works when they just went 13-3 with just running the ball with Aaron Jones and letting him dominate through the passing game. He is going to have similar production to what he did last year. Not much has changed, clearly, because they hate Aaron Rodgers there. That's great for Aaron Jones. Love that. Smash him.
Yeah, not to mention that he's in a contract year, and he's
also
going to get paid.
Yeah.
So next on our list is Todd Gurley. Overall, he's 28th and running back 15. And for me, I think he's a complete smash. He's on a 1-year deal with the Falcons, and the Falcons are going to want to run him into the ground because they don't have to protect any investment. It's a league minimum deal. So like he could easily get like 25, 30 touches a game if they wanted to do that. I'm not really too worried about the injury holding up because like with his knee, I know it like hurt him last year, and the Rams didn't want to run him into the ground last year, but the Rams also at the time had a huge contract on him. They did not foresee them cutting him at that time. So I think Gurley's a steal in RB15, and say he does get hurt, it's not like you're spending a first-round pick on Todd Gurley. You're getting him for an injury discount in the third, maybe fourth round.
How you can complain, and I shouldn't be worried about it. I don't think you should be either. Todd Gurley, they're going to run him into the ground. Matt Ryan is old. Julio Jones is old. Calvin Ridley is ready to step up into the alpha role, and you still have viable weapons that are in that defense that can make game-changing plays. I mean, this Super Bowl team of old is still there, and I think they know that. And they're taking one last punch by signing Todd Gurley. I think you're going to see Todd Gurley from 2 years ago this year. I think they're going to run the heck out of him. He's getting 30 carries a game. He's scoring 2 touchdowns on the ground. Matty Ice is still going to throw for 2 in the air and 400 yards, whatever he does. I mean, they're going to have to do it to keep up with the teams in their division. Love Todd Gurley, unless he just falls apart, which I don't think he will. I think, yes, the knees are kind of an issue, but I think for 1 year, they're just going to absolutely abuse him. Love Todd Gurley. Draft him, smash him. Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that they don't owe him anything. They're going to pay him the league minimum. They're going to try to take one last stab of it, and if not, they'll probably blow it up.
Yep.
So next on the list is going to be Adam Thielen. He's overall being drafted 37th overall and wide receiver 13, and I think that's a smash. I'm going to smash for that. The reason why I think he slid a little bit this year is because he missed so many games last year with the hamstring, and as we know, like hamstrings linger once you get it. Even if you get it in week 1, it could pop back up any point whenever it so well chooses to, and that scares people. And I get that, but it's been a whole off season. There's been no real training camp. It's just been everything. It's not for guys like Adam Thielen. Don't think he's going to be I don't think the hamstring is something to be worried about, especially with no preseason. I think he's a smash. I think he's another one who could have a pretty good bounce back year, especially with the Diggs being gone.
Yeah, no, we're in full agreement here. Once again, Adam Thielen is an absolute beast when he's on the field. I think he was, teacher's pet. He was the favorite for Kirk Cousins. Even when Diggs was there, Diggs was the deep ball guy who just had to let it rip to sometimes. I think if he can go to Buffalo and figure it out, great for him. But I do think Thielen is going to be the guy there. I think the only thing you're worried about is that hamstring, and I don't think you can try to pre-count for that. Thielen seems like a tough guy to me. Like if it's minorly bothering him throughout the season, he'll play through it, and I don't think that it will affect him. Yeah, he's the guy there, and not only that, but you have Justin Jefferson, who I think complements him well. I think they will go back and forth, and this little trio of Cousins, Thielen, and Jefferson is going to go really well. And that defense, they have 2 superstars at every single layer in that defense. I absolutely love it. After their most recent signing of Jonathan Ngakoue or whatever.
Yannick Ngakoue, they traded him from the Jags. They got him from the Jags.
Dude's a stud. So that defense is going to make plays. I think they're going to absolutely blow some teams out. Like Thielen's going to have, 10 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's going to happen a couple weeks, and then you're going to in the close games, he's going to be just as busy. I don't think you're worried about it at all. I don't think they're going to be on some bad losing ends, so you can't really account for them just chucking the ball anywhere. Overall, love the offense, love the defense, love the team, love the situation, love everything except for that minor injury. Wouldn't really call it a minor injury, but now we'll consider it a minor injury as long as it doesn't keep flaring back up. For Adam Thielen, I love it. Smash him. He could win you a league this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think he's a good pick for this year. So next on our list is Lamar Jackson. He's being drafted 17th overall. Quarterback 2, and for me, I'm going to pass on Lamar Jackson just because of my drafting strategy. I am not taking a quarterback in the second round. I think that where he's being drafted is fair. I think that if you were someone who is comfortable taking a quarterback in the second round, I think Lamar Jackson is definitely the guy. I think he should actually be quarterback 1 because of the rushing, the amount of yards he gets on the ground, and he is disrespected in the passing game. Like I think that he completed at a very high percentage last year. I think it was like 66 to 70% of his passes last year. Didn't throw very many interceptions, but he had 1,000 yards on the ground, and that's what you want out of a running back. And he did it from the quarterback position, plus all the passing yards, plus all the rushing touchdowns, plus all the easily the quarterback 1. The only thing that scares people is players who play or quarterbacks who play like that are going to get hurt. But I haven't seen anyone lay a finger on him yet. If it does get hurt, it's going to be non-contact, and no one touches that man. Like he's too quick, too fast. It's unstoppable.
Yeah, so Lamar Jackson, I'm going to go ahead and smash. And here's why. I think Lamar Jackson is a once in a generational type player. Like, I think if you are someone who, like, you are, like Mick said, you're going to go ahead and pass where he's going. That's just because of your draft strategy. You're not taking Lamar Jackson because he's not capable. Like if he even gets close to the season he had last year or even the past 2 years, like, he's great. But last year he's putting up like 35 points a week. And that's Christian McCaffrey, once in a generational type-esque players who just, they affect the game differently. And even if he's close to that, and he's not going to get hurt, like, he's so elusive, he's not getting touched. Like, yes, he's very good at not getting hit. Yes, will he get tackled? Sure. But, he doesn't fumble.
It's not going to be a pop.
He's not getting hit stick. You're fine. I don't think you worry about that. If he tears his ACL or whatever, it happens. The dude's running full speed into jet skis, so we're not really worried about it. I just think that if you can draft a guy who can almost win you a league like by himself, then you should go ahead and do it. We actually had our first dynasty draft for this offseason, and the guy who had the 101 drafted Lamar, and it was not a shock to me at all. Like, a 100%, I was like, that makes sense, because Lamar Jackson just had the best season statistically that anyone's ever seen. So I think you smash him where he's going. Like, if you can get him in the second round and you end up with a crazy stack like Saquon and Lamar or something like that, that's totally okay with me. I love it. I don't see how you don't look at your lineup every week with Lamar Jackson starting in quarterback and be like, wow, that's exciting. Like, that makes you want to watch. You want to watch the Ravens in Lamar play regardless. And then if he's in your lineup and you're watching him put up 30 a week, that's pretty nice. So definitely smashing Lamar. I think there are some reservations with how high he's going, but I definitely think he could go even higher. So yeah, smashing Lamar.
Yeah. It's just, for me, like you said, it's not because of his ability. It's the draft strategy. So for me, the draft strategy doesn't line up with me taking Lamar. If Lamar was in the third round, however, I'm going to smash Lamar for me, because then I would have had my 2 running backs or something along those lines. And if I could get Lamar in the third round,
yeah, or maybe if we're lucky, they'll let us put Lamar in running back slot, right?
Yeah, that would just be great, because he had 1,000 yards on the ground last year, and I don't think he touched the fourth quarter at all. I think that's all in 3 quarters of football every week.
Yeah, we just need them to line Lamar at running back for like one play, and then Yahoo will switch it, and they'll let us put him running back.
Do more of the what did they had the formation, the Heisman formation. It was like Mark Ingram, RG3, and Lamar Jackson all right there. Just freaking send it more often.
That's crazy.
So next on the list is going to be Raheem Mostert, running back from the 49ers. He's being drafted 47th overall, RB24. And for me, I'm going to pass on him as well. I just don't like that. I don't like having my RB2 in a committee. I want my RB2 someone who's going to be like a workhorse, or even like has a bigger role. I'm not convinced that Raheem Mostert is going to be the workhorse back in that offense. They still have Tevin Coleman, Jerick McKinnon. They paid a lot of money to last offseason. So I know Burita left, but I just don't see it. If you're buying him at this price, you're banking on the fact that he performed well in the playoffs. And I don't know if you know this or not, but fantasy football is not played in the playoffs for the NFL. So that doesn't really matter to me. Like, who cares? Like, cool. He torched the Packers run defense, who couldn't stop anyone.
Who couldn't stop the run all year.
Yeah. So cool. That's exciting. I don't care. Like, I'm not on Raheem Mostert. If he fell farther in the draft, if he was in the RB 30-ish range, somewhere around there, then maybe I would consider it. But I'm not going to take him as RB 24.
Yeah, no, right there with you. Fading Raheem Mostert, and he just seems like a headache. He's going to be one of those guys that's on the edge of your bench and on the edge of your flex spot pretty much all season. That's not a headache you want to have drafting him as high as he's going, for sure. There are definitely other guys you can take there. And also, I just think the whole team regresses. This 49ers team reminds me a lot of the Seahawks. They have their good run, came in second in the Super Bowl. They obviously won some Super Bowls. It's a little different than the 49ers, but I definitely do see similarities, mostly coming from the defense and those superstars, and that stuff does have a tendency to fade quickly. So I think that Garoppolo is not a very strong quarterback. You could argue that makes them rely on the run even more, but there is that committee. I think Kittle's the only one that's guaranteed production in this offense. I definitely think you see some regression. I think it happens quickly, and I think people are going to be not expecting it, but you're hearing it here first. It's going to happen, and Mostert is not something you want any part of. Fading him all season. Stay away.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of the 49ers. Any 49ers except for Kittle as well. So next on the list is going to be Ronald Jones, running back from Tampa Bay, being drafted 80th overall, RB 30. For me, I think he's a complete smash here. There's a while, I think his ADP is so low because of the Keyshawn Vaughn hype that was happening pretty much all year because they thought of him as a James White type player. I think Wyatt thought of that. I thought of that too at the beginning. Yeah, I thought that at the beginning of the year, but then they signed Shady McCoy, Keyshawn Vaughn. He was out for the first 2 weeks of like a 6-week training camp with the Rona. It's just not something I'm not worried if Keyshawn Vaughn. Bruce Arians has never really enjoyed rookie players that much. He's never used them that much. Every year that Bruce Arians has a good team, he's always using seasoned veterans. They've been there, done that, trying to do it again. Just like Tom Brady, just like Gronk. Like they're all guys that like that's who he's does the best with is guys who are old. So I think Ronald Jones, I think a big thing for Tom Brady is going to be for a running back out of Tom Brady is going to be that a running back that can pass block. And I think Ronald Jones out of the 3 running backs, I think he's the most superior pass blocking running back. I think that'll keep him on the field enough. Stud. I think he's a complete smash. I am not in on Keyshawn Vaughn anymore. I am done with that. I don't think Shady McCoy is going to be doing anything spectacular to be taking away from Ronald Jones. RB 30. That's criminal.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. Smashing Ronald Jones, ton of reasons. You hit most of them. See, here's the thing is when Keyshawn Vaughn was the guy, as far as we knew, the hype got so much because you were getting the guy in this offense that, of course, everyone loves, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's offense, the Bucs, all these weapons. You're super excited if Keyshawn Vaughn's out there in that James White role, who would probably play it even better because he's younger and he can just, say, feed me the passes. But this whole situation has imploded. And if you're looking at Rojo's draft capital, it just shot up. And if you're drafting anytime soon, you need to draft him because Tom Brady is very safe. Like if he can punch the ball in from the one with the running back, he's going to do it. He's not Russell Wilson throwing the ball at the one in a Super Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. But it's going to happen. So, and they're going to be a really high flying offense. They're going to be letting it go. And there are going to be those situations where they're inside the 5 and Tom Brady on 1st and 2nd down is just going to hand it off a couple times because maybe they're already up by 47 or whatever it is. And that's going to happen. So, I think even if they've got 97 tight ends on this offense that they can shove at offensive line if they need to run those 12 sets and just punch it in. So I think if he's the guy getting 10 to 15 carries a game for I don't even know math, 50, 60 yards and a touchdown or 2, like I'm not mad at that, and I think that's really good value for your lineup. So. Rojo's draft capital should be being drafted where Keyshawn Vaughn is, and Keyshawn Vaughn shouldn't even be getting drafted now because he's going to be a punt returner, and LaShawn McCoy is going to catch a couple passes a game. Nothing crazy, but Rojo's draft capital, love that. Draft him. He's going to be in your flex spot almost all year. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, I think he's a solid flex play all year, and then I think he's someone who could sub in for bye weeks with
Absolutely,
your top running backs all week, all year long. I think he's just a complete stud.
This has been it. Smash or Pass, episode 4. We were gone for a bit. We had stuff going on. Not a great time to do it for you guys, and we are sorry about that. Dawson actually wasn't able to make it here tonight, but we are back, Fantasy Football Addicts, and we are excited. We love doing this. It's like me and Mick were talking about it earlier, just how much we love hopping on here, and it's just so much fun talking about football. And we have actually heard from our friends and other people we don't even know who just watch this saying wow, this is helping us. That's really cool for us. Mick had a guy, tell him that he drafted based off of literally just our mock videos. He knew nothing about fantasy football, and he's an absolutely insane lineup. He's definitely contending for his league, no doubt. It's just crazy. We kind of know what we're talking about, and we're starting to realize that, even though we were confident about it before. I mean, we know what we're doing, but Really, though, it's really cool to see. And I mean, I can let Mick speak on that a little bit more, but we're back. We're going to be pumping out content, and and we're excited, man. We're ready for football. It looks like we're going to get to play. We're going to have a season. So, I mean, strap up because we're going.
Yeah, fingers crossed that the season gets played all the way through. That's what I'm really hoping for. No delays, no postponed games like the MLB seems to be postponing a game every other day because of the Rona thing. So I'm just hoping that this thing goes through. I think the way it's looking so far, I think it's looking good. I think the last time I looked, the league said that in the last 4 weeks of training camp, they've had one positive test in the last 4 weeks. That was a legit one and not a false positive one. And currently there's only one person who is on the COVID reserve list or something like that. So I think that's a good sign. I think what they've implemented, their protocols or whatever they're doing is working. I like it. I'm super excited for this season. I think everybody is.
Yeah, no, let's hope we can get it. Yeah, so that's going to do it. We will be back tomorrow from whenever you're watching this. Hopefully it's as soon as possible. And yeah, we're just going to be pumping out content. Super excited about it. Hopefully there's an NFL season. Don't forget to draft Clyde. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.